And welcome everybody to another edition of the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host, Dan, aka smAsho. We're going to start things out by looking at the sun in 94 angstroms. And I'm not going to work myself into a lather. I'm just going to go away. We don't see any sunspots. We see an active region there in the north and a smaller one in the south. By the way, this is being live streamed to twitch.tv/smAsho. As you can see right there. Next, we're looking at HelioViewer, and we're going to look at magnetic fields. There's the fade between 171 angstroms and magnetic fields. And I've decided to return to the screen. There's 304 angstroms and the fields, as well as a nice Earth scale image too, by the way. Check it out. There's a nice reference to the size of that active region versus Earth, to give you a little perspective. Next, we're looking at 1600 angstroms, which does include some ionized carbon UV spectra, by the way. And not a lot of changes going on that active region in the north over the past 48 hours. KP index is at 1, 10.7 centimeter radio flux up to 71 now, as forecasted. And happy new moon, my favorite phase of the moon. I'll tell you reasons in a different video, or perhaps leave a comment. Next, looking at theplanetstoday.com. And yes, we accept cookies from theplanetstoday.com. There's where stuff is now. There's where stuff will be in a week. We'll be approaching a gibbous waxing. And we are doing it very, very late today, which is why the clock says 5:41. I like to use in-the-sky.org. And I like to face my planetarium to the south, because I'm currently facing south, and my sofa faces the south. Have you seen the summer triangle today? Well, it's up there. Deneb, Altair, and Vega. Here's some more data. GOES X-ray flux is pretty flatline here, as those plages never really got named. So that was not forecasted. They certainly looked like sunspots. Proton flux is similarly flatline. So again, there's the X-ray flux. There's the proton flux. No surprise. No big coronal mass ejections. We did see a bit of a disturbance in this area. And that looks like a small bit of ejecta arriving at the magnetosphere. That is what you would expect to see, with a lot of protons striking, creating induced current and so forth in places like the Van Allen belts. A couple coronal hole-like connections happening here, it looks like. BTBZ is pretty uninteresting. Phi angle around 340 degrees. Solar wind density quite low, 3.4 protons per cubic centimeter. And solar wind speed quite low as well, 341 kilometers a second. Not as low as we saw it a few days ago, where it was below 300. And we're going to talk cosmology for a very brief moment, as there is a story about Sagittarius A star and another story about astronauts. So first of all, what we're looking at here is an artist's rendition of the core of the galaxy. And keep in mind, this area here is very small, something like 4/10 of an astronomical unit being the distance from the Earth to the Sun. And what's going on is bits of this gas and dust surrounding the massive radio source known as Sagittarius A star sporadically emit all kinds of different photons. All sort of different emission spectra come out of that area, and it happens rather spontaneously, and it's not well understood, as obviously it's pretty tough to see what's going on, but radio spots seem to circle in the disc-shaped bit of gas and dust orbiting Sagittarius A star at very high speeds. So you see things like little bouts of synchrotron radiation, as well as little bouts of radio emissions and all kinds of different electromagnetic spectra, I should say. And so again, looking at a very small area here, varying on different time frames, like different cyclicities happening in there. And for reference, Mercury, the solar system's innermost planet, circles the sun at a distance of 0.4 astronomical units. In other words, it's 4/10 the distance from Earth to the sun. So for massive radio sources to be orbiting at those kind of speeds, there must be some massive objects inside of that disk of gas and dust surrounding Sagittarius A star. Who would have guessed? Well, anybody who has any understanding of what it is. Let's talk about, and no, it's not a white supremacist symbol, folks. It is not a white supremacist symbol. Let's talk about SpaceX, hoping to be the first private organization to send some astronauts. There's what the new suits will look like. And I think we picked up that one from SciTech Daily. Let's get back to data. Looking at the magnetosphere. Here's the pressure, and it's fairly steady here, despite a few perturbations over the past 24. Nothing to really write home about, and since it refreshed itself, I'm just going to rock it forward, as there's not a whole lot to see. Here are the ground geospace magnetic perturbations. And you can see a little bit of perturbation over the Canadian North Pole, not so much over the Siberian North Pole. And you can see it's quite obvious that the South Pole is someplace around here, not around there. And that's what happens during a polar excursion. Also, we seem to have a second South Atlantic anomaly. Not only just one here, but one appears to be showing up down here. So, we covered it a couple days ago, 2 days ago, in our daily space weather video. And we see very spiky magnetometer readings here. Is it because the North Solar Pole is increasing in strength? Is it because of activity around the non-polar regions? Is it a combination of both? Or is it the South Pole weakening? Well, we're not going to tell you because it's a daily space weather video and we're looking at the data. So we will get into that eventually. But this looks like another current sheet polarity crossing, as that's typically what you see. So there's a bit of a tug-of-war between South and North Pole regarding your portion of the current sheet, and you can see that totally evidently in the Gong 2 data. Let me shrink that down one size. There we go. That's better. And the Gong 2 data there, that's the top view ecliptic plane field plot. That is derived from 51 ground-based magnetometers right here on good old planet Earth, as well as on stereo A. There's one there, one or two magnetometers there, and stereo B, which are located at Lagrange point 4 and Lagrange point 5, folks. Next, looking at the line of sight field plot, and you can see there's some striation happening here in the B field, which is shown in blue, and that's a combination of both polar magnetism as well as active regions on the surface. So we're seeing more and more activity happening here, despite there not being a lot of sunspots and everybody freaking out and saying, oh no, OMG, it's so scary and spooky, because there haven't been that many sunspots. But there are lots of other variables besides sunspots, which we won't get into on this episode because, once again, it's the daily space weather, and we've got things like cosmology segments in our playlists. So check out the Electron Flux. It went down and down and down, and then it flattened out and it went down and 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 down, and it's not coming back up. It's oddly flatlined here, and you can see the same thing being shown on the GOES Electron Flux. So this is the greater than 2 mega electron volt, and this is the greater than or equal to 2 mega electron volt electron flux. Surprisingly low levels there. So expect GPSs to be working well. We're hoping they do. And this is the total electron content of the entire air column between things like geosynchronous satellites and the surface. And this shows you an estimation of the electrons in all the layers. The layer we're about to look at is just the ionosphere, and this is from Australian Government Bureau of Meteorology. And this is looking totally normal right now. Latest image coming in at 9:45, and we are so late. We hope you're watching live, folks, because if not, you're going to be waiting a long time for when you normally see it. Ahoy, be stoic. And now we're looking at earthquakes for the past 24 hours. So a bunch of quakes striking Nevada. A pre-shock. Oh, that's Mexico. Never mind. I thought it was British Columbia. And we don't see anything over a 6 magnitude. We're going to report on everything that looks weird or deep or ultra shallow. So here's one at Indonesia, one of the largest of the past 24. It's a 5.3 magnitude. It's 127.8 kilometers depth. It came at 13 minutes after midnight Universal Time on today, May 23rd. Or if you prefer, 23 May 2020. Do you have clear vision in 2020? Are you having your vision clouded by nonsense? Is it beginning to anger you? Here's a deep quake at... Oh, check that out. A deep quake at Argentina. 4.5 magnitude, 174 kilometers depth. Followed only a half hour later by a deep quake at Japan. So South America, then Japan in only a half hour, and the one at Japan deeper. So that one at 352.9 kilometers and a larger magnitude. Next, volcanoes. My tab order told me to pick this one. And yes, we've got new tabs that you've never seen before in your life. Kluchaskoy is erupting, and it's upticked. Now the ash plume there is 23,000 feet tall, or the top of it is 23,000 feet above sea level, I should say. Flight level 12,000 at Mount Nabiko, flight level 7,000 at Mount Aso, flight level 10,000 at Sakurajima. That sounds like an uptick at Sakurajima to me. Sange exploding, flight level 20,000 there. Revenador likewise, flight level 15,000 there. Sabancaya, puff emissions as it explodes. It's puffy enough to produce a 23,000 foot flight level. And Nevados de Chilean, sporadic emissions of volcanic ash are an indication not to pole vault the caldera. And now we've moved on to the I'm not even mad at you. I'm a lot more likely to be mad at you. So in any case, I'm just going to take my stainless steel pen and I'm going to bye. Viruses are not your enemy, folks. Viruses are not your enemy. Has your stay-at-home order been extended until June 12th? Like it was in Michigan by Governor Gretchen Whitmer? Let's talk about real-world solutions. Note, we are not promoting diatomaceous earth as a cure for coronavirus. This is a general health supply with many uses. Diatomaceous earth, yes. Not only is it an insecticide, but you can eat it. And if you're going to eat it, you should eat the freshwater variety. It's very high in silica, which are some of the benefits that you get from eating things like cucumbers. According to WebMD, when taken by mouth, it can be used as a source of silica and can treat high cholesterol, constipation, improving the health of skin, nails, teeth, bones, and hair. It can also be applied topically. It's bad for bugs. Even things like intestinal worms are not fans of the diatoms, but you are. You can eat them. The tiny glass particles go right into your bloodstream, and they work wonders. You can also use it to block egress lines for insects who will refuse to walk through it. So it works great to shoot inside of your walls. It's dusty. Don't breathe it in. Don't do a line of diatoms. That's bad for you. So we picked up this article from WebMD on the website. If you want to read the rest of it, put it on WebMD. Search for WebMD. Just type in diatomaceous earth. You'll see all kinds of stuff about it. What else can you do when you're locked up? Well, you can hope that your door hasn't been welded shut. And if it has, well, we can probably call a welder for you. One of the things you may want to do is listen to the Dead Milkmen, one of my favorite punk rock bands, and a real punk rock band. You may be familiar with the big hit from the early 90s, Punk Rock Girl, or was it late 80s? Anyway, Punk Rock Girl's a great song, but have you ever heard Stuart? So Stuart's a little bit more controversial. So, check this out.
Keep doing the rock on the mixer. The man said, keep your head and arms inside the mixer at all times.
The man said, keep your head and arms inside the mixer at all times. But Bill Jr., he was a daredevil, and he was decapitated. They found his head over by the snow cone concession. So if you enjoy the content, please visit the snow cone concession below the video in the links. And don't forget to press like and subscribe on YouTube. And by the way, thanks for leaving comments. We greatly appreciate that. Now, our HIPAA video is now on YouTube as well. And we had that on BitChute about 4 days ago. So we put it up 3 days earlier or something like that on BitChute. And hey, it hasn't been deleted or demonetized any place yet, so that's nice. As far as social media, we are also on Gab, and I'm going to try to start using it, I promise. I just can't show you any of the feeds because I don't know what's going to be on there. We're also on Locals, which is Dave Rubin's new website. So if you want to go there, check it out at smashomash.locals.com. We're trying to put a little exclusive stuff there, which is the reason why we put up the ever-popular Big Tech meme and the Neil Ferguson meme. Gotta love that. Also on Twitter, trying to occasionally interact over there as well if there's anything interesting going on. Also on Facebook. And geez, hey viewers, you think I should stop using my PA/amp mixer as a table holding up a grow light? Because that seems like a really stupid thing to do. But for some reason, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to have to get a different setup and just move everything in a different spot. There's a Big Tech meme. We just uploaded that yesterday onto minds.com/smashomash. Thanks for leaving a comment, Terry. And if you haven't gotten an account over there on minds.com, you should probably check it out. By the way, that's how I discovered a channel called Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Let's talk about Cove Idiots. Well, which Cove Idiots? Well, I've got some serious Cove Idiots today. I'm not talking about Cove Idiots Tom Wolfe, nor Dr. Rachel Levine, former NCAA linebacker. Nope. I'm not talking about either of those Cove Idiots. I'm not talking about these Cove Idiots. I'm not so sure about Apple. I'm not sure if Apple's a Cove Idiot, but certainly Google, Facebook, and Twitter are 100% Cove Idiots, rife with censorship, who probably don't understand that they can't break the internet, but that the internet can break them, since they can't escape their liability, can they? Neil Ferguson can't escape his liability. He's cost the world trillions of dollars, pounds, and yen, most likely. Do you think he's behind bars yet? I like him better like this. What about you? Now, I'm not sure on this particular woman's name. She could be a Cove Idiot. She felt protected when she was walking Sandy. Now, this Cove Idiot, this is beyond museum grade. This is prison cell grade. Check out this article on the Burning Platform. Nursing home abuser made video asserting black people are supposed to rule the earth. Okay. I'm not going to play the videos, and you certainly don't want to watch them. You will be horrified. And he was making videos himself. He's now in jail. Even President Trump got involved. It's pretty outrageous. And I don't know what that is supposed to be. I don't know how I got that on my screen. I certainly did not put that anyplace. So anyway, let's talk about elder abuse. Oh yeah, elder abuse. We've updated one of the sections on smashomash.com/forum to include some elder abuse. If you haven't been there, perhaps check out the Insanity Files. It's smashomash.com/forum. If you scroll down, in the General Science Forum, now I used to be a psych major for about a year and a half when I took 83% of the core classes for a psychology degree. I'm a little qualified, which is part of the reason why I like Jordan Peterson so much, because Jordan Peterson knows what he's talking about. Now, the last update on here was 3 charged in killing of security guard over virus mask at Family Dollar. But the latest one is about the world's top elder abuser, Governor Andrew Cuomo. Since he's responsible for most of the outbreak in the U.S., what else would you like to know? Well, were you aware that he forced nursing homes to take sick patients who already tested positively for COVID-19? Do you think Mr. Cuomo can escape his own liability? What do you think? Leave a comment. He could be quoted as saying, "Your dead family member is now in a better place, smiling down on my brilliant governance." You can follow me on Instagram also. I've commented on one of Oppenheimer Ranch's latest videos about how Diamond does not forget, and he does hold people responsible the same way he holds himself responsible. Check it out. It's a foggy day in the eastern half of the U.S. We've got crazy special weather reports and dense fog advisories. Whoa, it's spooky. It's spooky and scary out there, folks. Oh my goodness, fog. The Weather Service it must inform you of fog, because there's so many people out there that can't see fog by simply stepping outside. Thanks again, government, doing a fine job. You are definitely worth those 6-figure salaries and endless benefit packages. Let's look at the pressure cells on windy.com. I apologize for the sarcasm. Did you detect a little sarcasm there? Yes. I'm trying to win an award. So we're advancing the pressure maps here on windy.com to tomorrow around noon my time. Please leave a comment if you're having a picnic for Memorial Day weekend on Sunday, Monday, Saturday, or constantly for the entire weekend, or any combination. There's where we expect things to be via the JFS forecast around 12 tomorrow. And it looks like it's probably going to be pretty clear. Perhaps we'll have to get out and ride a bike with other riders and intentionally cough on each other. Just kidding, folks. We would never ride closer than 6 feet apart from each other. That would be just reckless. Here are the jet streams of the Western world. Here are the jet streams of the Eastern world. And I think he's referring to Schumann resonances, folks, but I'm not really sure, because I don't care at all about Schumann resonances, because I understand the physics of how they get generated. So here's the jet streams of the East, and let's move on to the water vapor maps for Africa and Europe. Water vapor maps for the Far East and Oceania. How about lightning maps? Lots of lightning strike in the US. Let's check the rest of the planet. A little bit in Western and Eastern Europe. Let's zoom into the closest lightning to my location before I tell you about a dumb, idiotic, moronic thing that I did. Check it out. Bridgeton! Bridgeton! There's thunder rolling in. So check it out. Here's the moronic thing I did. All right, I got to make sure I can. All right, can you see that? It's Waswit old-fashioned sauerkraut. All right, you may be familiar with that brand. And here's the moronic thing I did. Now, I live someplace around here. And I drive to all kinds of places around this area, right? Now, this product is made, I don't know, someplace like around here in a place called Tamaqua. And so what I idiotically did, and I could buy the same product at a store right here. All around this area, this product is all over the place. It's widely known. So what I idiotically did is I moronically drove up here, someplace around this area, and I purchased a product that was made here while I live here. And the point is, there's a reason why you want to buy local, folks. It's not only just like to support the local people and stuff. It goes much deeper than that, because how much fuel was required for me to drive all the way up here? How much fuel was wasted shipping the product up here, and now it's back down here where I'm at. So just that's just I used to always say, because I actually am a pretty serious environmentalist. I used to say all the time that, like, hey, shut your car off. Like, why are you putting more money in Saudi pockets? Huh? Why are you putting more money in Saudi pockets? All right, moving on to the Doppler radar map. What, you like Saudi pockets? You think Saudi pockets aren't full of grease and pocket lint? Man, some severe storms over Arkansas. And those are moving due east, it looks, folks. So here's the close-up of those scenarios. Yeah, there's some crazy activity going on there. And without looking at the water vapor map, it's not going to do you any good to look at this. So let's just ignore the cloud layer since we got severe weather. And there's the water vapor map. And it's stagnating. We've got fingers of dry massive air here, dry massive air here, and that's going to continue to compress for a long time, folks. Here's a zoom in of that atmospheric pond. You folks have got an atmospheric pond. Please get your hard hat and your mining light ready, just in case. If it starts to flood, break out the kayak. Check out the Hall current streamers. Look at this. Perpendicular to the mode of motion of the water as this low tries to rotate counterclockwise and is unable to because of all this dry air around it. So that's going to stagnate there for a while. Let's take one more look, as sometimes I'm actually interested in what's going on over my own head, believe it or not. And we've got a minor low pressure system right around here. You can see the rotation around that. And that's going to be promptly moved to the east by that trailing massive air, which is doing the pushing. And there's a little bit of a jet stream compression happening in this way too. And thanks to our patrons, whether you're an assistant or an associate producer, you're the main source of funding for the content. We are also on Subscribestar if you're not a fan of Patreon for whatever reason. Thanks to the Smash team for sharing on your social media. If you don't share on your social media, tell your friends, tell your foes. Otherwise, the channel will still not stagnate and continue its growth. So thanks for flying, American Smashways. Please keep your head and arm inside at all times. And we're going to look at the intensity gram here for a moment to show you 0 sunspots. Here's the colorized magnetogram. And we're going to close things out with a 131 angstroms 48-hour SDO video. I'm gonna vanish just as fast as I arrived. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staring at the sun. Remember not to drink, and if you do, don't drive. It is Memorial Day weekend. A lot of idiots out there. Some are even Cove Idiots. Oh my God, it's Cove Idiots. Holy cripes. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance, and may that solar wind be at your back and that atherosclerosis absent from your health.